And then you just look at me when I just raise my hands like that. That means we are starting to broadcast on Facebook. And we will just get going from there, okay?
Okay.
All right, sometimes it takes a couple of minutes for Facebook to start. So how are you doing today?
Good. How about you?
Good. Saturday, good. Saturday is always a busy day.
Yeah.
Long day. But it's a long, good day.
Where's everyone else on the call? Or is it not?
They will come. Yeah, I called you a little 5 minutes early, right? So they'll start joining in from 5 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't want to, take time into the 6 o'clock session for setting things up and like that. So. And you can start singing.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. So let's give a round of applause to Avantika and to Bharat, who have been singing such a melodious Hare Krishna tune to us today. And thank you so much, Avantika. And we are joined here on Zoom by Niral and Khyati Prabhus, Sonal Mataji, Nishtha and Astha, Preeti Radhika Mataji, and Chitra Mataji, Sudevi Mataji. And I see somebody is on the iPhone. I don't know. Is that Sutapa you or? Somebody is on iPhone. I need to know that. And while they are trying to figure that out, we are being watched on Facebook here by Rohit Prabhu from India and Apara Gorangi Devi Dasi, Rama Mataji, welcome. Nancy, so happy to have you here. And Dayanidhi Prabhu, thank you so much for joining the call. And Archana Mataji also joining us on Facebook. Archana, if possible, jump onto Zoom. The more the merrier here. Okay, so everybody, if you can unmute yourself and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, and who's on iPhone? I still haven't figured that out. BH would stand for what?
Yeah, this is Bhageshri Mataji.
Bhageshri. Oh, wow.
Dandavat pranams.
Dandavat
Yeah,
pranams.
I could join Zoom today.
Yes, yes.
I just on audio.
Oh, wow. This is fantastic. And Bhageshri has done the exercise. She has jumped from Facebook to Zoom. It takes a lot of effort. So
Yeah, I don't know how long I could be, but yeah, I'm there for now.
Lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoya. So even a fraction of a moment of association with the devotee of the Lord is going to give us a lot of benefits. So stay on. Please feel free to stay on for as long as you like and as long as Krishna permits you to do that. And I see Nisha there hiding behind you, Sonal Mataji. Hare Krishna, Nisha. Thank you for joining your call. And Nishtha, where is your twin today?
Yeah, Mataji. Actually, she couldn't join today. She's
Okay,
not there.
all right. We're going to miss her. And Charu also joined us here. And who's going to do the reading order today for us? Needle Babu, can you do that? So Devi Mataji, are you trying to say something?
I'll do it, Mataji.
Okay, perfect.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam, Jai
Krishna,
Shila Prabhupada.
Devi. Hare Krishna. And I'm assuming that Khyati will join us momentarily.
Yes, Mataji. She'll
Okay,
join.
that's good. That's fantastic. Okay, so while we are just getting settled with the reading order, etc., we'll just get going with the Vigyapti Panchika prayers, our favorite prayers, and we will just go and see if I am able to share the screen and show you the Vigyapti Panchika prayers in all their glories. Please confirm that you can see that.
Yes, Mataji, we can see.
Can see that? That is fantastic. Okay, so let me go into my Zoom here and get going.
I'm assuming everyone is able to read, right? Bhagyashree Mataji, are you able to read?
No, Prabhu.
Okay,
I won't be. Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Om Agyanatimarandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Matsamo nasti papatma naparadhi cha kaschana parihare pilacchame kim dhruve purushottama yuvatinam yatha yuni yunam cha yuvato yatha manobhiramate tadvan mano me ramatam tvayi bhumau skalita padanam bhumirevavalambanam त्वयि जातापराधानां त्वमेवा शरणं प्रभु भूमौ स्खलितपादानां भूमिरेवावलम्बनं त्वयि जातापराधानां त्वमेवा शरणं प्रभु गोविन्दा वल्लभे राधे प्रार्थये त्वामहं सदा त्वदीयं इति जानातु गोविन्दो मां त्वया सह राधे वृन्दावनाधीशे करुणामृतवाहिनी कृपया निजपादाब्जा दास्यं मह्यं प्रदीयताम्. Okay, so we'll go back to the beginning to do the translations once Neeral Prabhu shares with us the reading order. Neeral Prabhu, let us know.
Yes, Mataji, I shared the order.
On the chat window, is that? Can you read it out for all of us?
Yes. Yeah, so it is Sonal Mataji, Charu Mataji, Nishtha Mataji, Priti Radhika Mataji, Chitra Mataji, Sudevi Mataji, Khyati, Neeral, and Shraddha Mataji. And one thing I didn't know, if Nisha is able to read, then we can include her name also.
No, she won't be reading.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so who goes now?
I go, but yeah. O Purushottama, no sinner or offender is as bad as I am. How can I describe my shame? Just as the minds of young ladies take pleasure in a young man, and the minds of young men take pleasure in a young woman, kindly let my mind take pleasure in you alone.
Hare Krishna, just as the ground is only support for those whose feet have slipped, you alone are the only shelter for those who have offended you. Hare Krishna.
O Srimati Radharani, beloved of Lord Govinda, this is my request. May you and Lord Govinda consider me as one of your assistants.
O Srimati Radharani, O Queen of Vrindavan, you are a river flowing with the nectar of mercy. Please be kind to me and give me a little service at your lotus feet.
All right, time for reflections.
Just
I
like the
just want,
minds of young ladies is always in the young men. Let my heart, let my mind always be attracted to you.
With the same intensity and the same force, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Good, very good. Preeti, were you saying something? Preeti Radhika?
yeah, I was remembering that one of the morning classes you were emphasizing the order in which the prayers are going. Like the first one is that we accept that we are the biggest sinners. Then we pray that let our minds be attracted to you alone. Then we say that we have no other shelter except you. And then we say that where are we going to go without your mercy? And please make us your assistant and give us some service. So just the order is amazing.
Yes, isn't it amazing that we have been reading this prayer for so many months now, I think, right? And
Yeah.
and it's like a cabbage. You keep on peeling it and something keeps coming on. It's like an infinite cabbage.
Exactly.
Something more to peel and something more to withdraw from and draw upon from these prayers. Yeah, but thank you so much for seeing that flow there. Yeah. Anything else anybody likes to share?
Radhe Vrindavanadishe.
Radhe Vindavanadishe. Very nice, Bhagishri Mataji. Yes, she's the queen of Vrindavan. And that's our goal, right? So we better have the queen on our side. Let's have her mercy upon us. Yeah. And if you're watching us on Facebook, please feel free to write your reflections here. And I'll take this moment to welcome Rohini Mataji, Vijay Lakshmi Nair Mataji, Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu, awesome, and Archana Mataji, all right, understand. Hope you get better soon. Okay, yeah, anybody here on the screen, on the Zoom, to share reflections on the Vigyapti Panchaka prayers while I go to chapter 10 of the Bhagavad Gita, which is next in line for us.
Hare Krishna Mataji. For me, I think it is always the same that please let me fix my mind in you alone. It's always the same. I don't know.
It is good. It is good. We don't necessarily need variety. If you have got one and you are stuck to it and you are steadfast, then that's fine. And you're saying that let my mind be fixed in you alone. And in order to do that, you will draw upon several other things. So they will come naturally and gradually as part of the goal that you set for yourself. So you don't have to necessarily and explicitly think about things, right? And I see that Varshana Mataji I hear Varshana Mataji has joined. So,
Yeah, I got way late.
no problem. Niral Prabhu, you can modify the reading order, but who goes in next now to read from the Bhagavad Gita?
My turn, Mataji.
Awesome, Chitra Mataji. Here we go.
I've shared the updated order, Mataji.
I have shared the updated reading order. Very good. So now Varshana Mataji will go. Varshana Mataji, just read that on the chat window while we get going with Chitra Mataji. Here. Okay.
The opulence of the absolute. Text 1. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained." Text 2. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences. For in every respect, I am the source of the demigods and sages. Hare Krishna.
Should I go next, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. It's your turn.
He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone.
I will read while Kathy comes. Text 6, the seven great sages, and before them the four other great sages, and the Manus, that's the progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. The Vaishnava, you can continue.
Have you posted the revised thing?
Yeah, I sent it.
Text.
We didn't
Text
receive
8.
it.
Okay, I didn't get it for some reason.
You didn't get in the chat?
Yeah, I just got the first one.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Without
I
Vaishnava.
didn't send it to the...
Okay.
Text 8. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Text 9. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. Hare Krishna.
To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Back to Sonal Mataji, is it?
Yes, Sonal Mataji.
Sorry, I was muted. Arjuna said, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality.
Hare Krishna, text 15. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Hare Krishna.
O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? And how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? O Janardana, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you, for the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. Hare Krishna.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, give me a second. Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings.
Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Maruts, I am Marichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. Text 22. Of the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Text 23.
Mataji.
Of all
The
Rudra.
Rudras.
Sudevi
Mataji,
Mataji's turn.
sorry. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am fire, Agni. And of mountains, I am Meru. Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief, Brihaspati. Of generals, I am Kartikeya. And of bodies of water, I am the ocean.
Text 25.
Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right, so your reading is
But Varshana Mataji, you read in the chat window. You will know the reading order in the chat window, in your Zoom chat, right? Right now, after Sudevi, Khyati, and Niral have to go.
Of the great sages, I am Bhrigu. Of vibration, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifice, I am the chanting of the holy name Japa. And of immovable things, I am Himalayas. Of all trees, I am the banyan tree. And of the sages, I am the demigod. And of the sages among the demigods, I am Narada. Of the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha. And amongst the perfected being, I am the sage Kapila.
of the horses know me to be Uchishrava, produced during the churning of the ocean for nectar. Of lordly elephants, I am Airavrata, and among men, I am the monarch. Of, wep- of weapons, I am the thunderbolt. Among cows, I am the Surabhi. Of causes of procreation, I am Kandarpa, the god of love, and of serpents, I am Vasuki. Mata, you can go ahead now.
Varshana Mataji, your turn now.
Of the many hooded Nagas, I am Anant, and among the aquatics, I am the demigod Varun. Of the departed ancestors, I am the Aryama, and among the dispensers of law, I am Yama, the lord of death. Text 30. Among the Daitya demons, I am the devoted Prahlad. Among subdues, I am time. Among beasts, I am the lion. And among the birds, I am Garuda. Hare Krishna.
Of purifiers, I am the wind. Of the wielders of weapon, I am Ram. Of fishes, I am the shark. And of flowing rivers, I am the Ganges. Of all creations, I am the beginning and the end, and also the middle, O Arjuna. Of all sciences, I am the spiritual science of the self, and among logicians, I am the conclusive truth.
Of letters, I am the letter A, and among compound words, I am the dual compound. I am also inexhaustible time, and of creators, I am Brahma. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience.
Hare Krishna. Text 35. Of the hymns, I am Samaveda, I am the Brahat Sama, and the poetry, I am the Gayatri. Of months, I am Marga Sirsa, November and December. And of seasons, I'm flower bearing spring. I'm also gambling of cheats, and of splendid, I'm splendor. I'm victory, I'm adventure, and I am the strength of the strong. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Charumataji, if you see S, like stand alone like this in Brahat Sama, then it's just pronounced as a S, right? But if you see any modifications to the S, like you see there's an accent there or there's a dot in this one, then it gets pronounced as Sha,
Sha.
Yeah.
So the under the dot is Sha.
Yeah, and above is also Sha. This is the Shaljam Sha, and this is the Shatkon Sha.
Can you pronounce that word, Mataji, please? Marga?
Marga Shirsha.
Marga Shirsha. Okay.
Shirsha, yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Right?
Thank you.
I has a bar on it, so it becomes a accentuated.
Shirsha. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Who goes next? Yeah, no problem.
Of the descendants of Vrishni, I am Vasudeva, and of the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. Of the sages, I am Vyasa, and among great thinkers, I am Ushana. Among all means of surpassing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am the wisdom. Hare Krishna.
Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating, sorry, this I'm reading on the phone and it's coming.
Seed.
Yeah. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being moving or non-moving that can exist without me. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences.
Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. Text 42. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
Haribo. Okay, spend a little time going over the reflections from what you heard from this 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that talks about the opulence of Lord Krishna, opulence of the absolute. And those of you who are watching us on Facebook, feel free to share your reflections here as well.
I really liked among the subduers, I am time. Like time eats and subdues everything.
And what does it eat? Good point. But if you can elaborate, what does time eat?
Everything, anything that has a beginning, middle, and end, except Krishna, it eats away everything.
Yeah. So give me some concrete examples of what
life.
Okay.
It eats away life.
Okay. What else? Anybody else can also jump in if you have seen time eat anything around you.
It eats. I think it eats away any type of emotions also, right? As like if you have grief, then over a period of time it reduces. Or if you have happiness, if it's not stable, right? I think it eats away that part of our experience.
Right.
One way or other, time is a healer.
Yes.
Mataji, it eats away our present moment.
It gives us the present moment while I think it eats away.
Yeah.
Mataji, I have a big clock in front of my room where I sit and chant the holy name. And every time I look at the time and I say, you are always running. You don't stop at all. So this is one thing, you see, it doesn't come back. It keeps on going and going and going. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Yeah. So, but what about subduing? What is the meaning of subdue? Like he says, among the subduers, I am time, right? That's what you said, Preeti. So what also
Yes.
gets subdued? Anger gets subdued, grief gets subdued, right? Like that?
Is it like when you are young, you think you can achieve a lot, you are strong and you can do, and as time passes you become older, and then what you used to do earlier, you feel it's difficult for you now at old age, and like that time is subduing. Does it?
Yes, time subdues that also. And then also our thought process gets subdued, because when we are young, we have got dreams. I will do this, and I'll do that. But then the reality hits us, and then, not all of it gets done. And so our ego also gets subdued with time. Like that. Yeah. And material beauty gets subdued with time, right? Material prowess gets subdued, Your power to remember gets subdued as the old age comes in. Like that. Good point, Preeti, Radhika, and others. Yeah, what more? What else from this?
I like the one which said the verse that says that I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds, because that covers everything, the spiritual and the material.
Isn't it? With one swipe, he has just taken all that. And by the way, that one is the first verse from the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pavartate iti matva bhajante man buddha bhav samandita. Which Varshana Mataji today joined exactly in time to be able to come and join and read from the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. And I think she read it last week also. She got that. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, I like the one I read on 36. I am the gambling of cheats. Splendid of the splendor, victory, adventure, and I'm the strength of the strong. It's in this Kali-yuga to, I feel that this is the best for me. Because he's saying, okay, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. So we see these things around in the world today. People cheat, people do this, do that. And he's saying, I am the victory. I am the adventure. I am the gambling of the cheats and everything. So he's the winner.
And I'm the strength of the strong, right?
Strength of the strong. He's the winner. I mean, it gives the energy, a lot of energy to do it right. Motivation, kind of a thing in my mind.
Good.
Reminds me of when Suraj tries to cheat me. I say that I can be a bigger cheater.
Who's Suraj, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. He's my son.
Son? Oh, okay. How young is he?
He's 9-year-old.
Oh, 9-year-old. Okay.
So Krishna is saying, I can be the biggest cheater. I can be the biggest gambler, like that.
Yeah, and so give me some examples of Krishna cheating.
Yogurt always.
How
Krishna actually, can I give the example, Mataji?
Yeah, please.
Duryodhana wanted to get powers by becoming the whole body strong, and his mother Gandhari called him to come without clothes, and Krishna said are you still a little baby? Your mother called, so you are supposed to go like that. At least cover your lower part. And then he covers, and then because of that his lower part remains weak, and that becomes the cause of his death at the end. So like that Krishna cheats.
Yes.
A very nice example.
Yeah.
Mataji, I like this one, 11th
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Mataji.
Just hold on. Just hold on to the thought.
Yeah.
So here, going back to this verse where he's saying, "I'm strength of the strong," right? And so, what mood should it put you in here? What mood should you go?
Krishna is all powerful.
Krishna is all powerful, and
all the positiveness or our strength and all the things come from Krishna's mercy only, and he gives us these things, and he can make us afraid, he can make us feel.
Like Draupadi trying to protect her sari, she couldn't protect from Dushasana. So when she surrendered by raising her hands up and prayed to Krishna, Krishna protected her. So we cannot always rely on our own strength or the strength of our husband also, for that matter. But when real situation comes, we'll have to totally rely on Krishna.
Okay. And Neeral Prabhu, have you completed your thought? Were you going to say something more?
No, Mataji, that was it.
Okay. Yeah. So what mood should it put us into when we have these things, huh?
Mataji, it for me, it feels like any battle that we have to be out there and win the battles today's world. I feel that if I remember Krishna, and I think that if Krishna is with me, I'm going to win every battles of this life. It puts me in the top-notch mood. If you ask, the mood means what do we call it?
Okay, so learning about this inspires you, and you try to bring in Krishna before you go for a battle, right?
Right. Any battle, it could be small, big, business, personal, anything, cleaning house, everything and anything you can think of. I just think that if Krishna is with me, I can do it. Example, my yard, the Mali or the gardener didn't come. I did it entire yard on my own, Mataji. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's a strength. So whatever strength that you're getting is coming from Krishna. So that's okay. So that puts you in that mood. What else should be our mood?
So it makes us, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
It puts us in a mood of pridelessness and humility.
Humility and pridelessness, exactly. Right? Because if you are splendid, if you are victorious, if you are very good at cheating other people, right? If you're very strong, then all these things are going to get to your head, right? And then you might just think that I am the doer. Ahankara vimhudatma kartaham iti manyate, right? Yes. So you might just end up thinking like that, but that's not the case, right? Everything is coming from Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavoho. That's what this verse is. And then going into the 11th verse from the Bhagavad Gita, which Varshana Mataji is going to tell us.
I always feel Tesham eva nukampartham aham agyanajam tamha nashyamye atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasata. Mataji, he is, I always feel that he is with me and he will remove all my ignorance and he will light the lamp of knowledge whenever I feel that I'm not understanding this. And then I feel if I concentrate, when I concentrate on him, I find the solution, Mataji. So he gives the light to me.
Yeah, yeah. Very nice. Very nice. That
Also,
faith is required. Yeah.
yes, excuse me. Also, we feel that Karan Karavan Har, or whatever we call it, we are the instrument and he's the one who's the doer. And like you just said, it's just a different way of thinking.
Thinking Nimit Mat Bhava Savya Sachin. Yeah. Just be an instrument. Yeah. Any other thoughts from others? Those who have not had a chance to speak, here's your chance to speak and share your thoughts.
Mataji, I liked I'm super soul out of all the souls.
Among the souls, I'm the super soul. Yes. And what does the super soul do? Anybody wants to tell us what the super soul does?
He's a well-wisher who guides us eternally.
Okay.
Mataji, super soul has two functions. One is Anumantacha, that means he gives the sanction giver, and another is a witness. He is a witness to our actions.
Yes, Updrishta and Anumanta.
Yeah.
Very right. Yeah. So those are the two things that the super soul does. And so whenever we do an action, right, there are certain factors to an action, and the five factors, and the fifth factor is the permission from the super soul. Unless the super soul doesn't give the permission, you cannot do it. Right? For example, if I think that I want to have an ice cream, so I can think about it and then use my body. Of course, the body has a soul, so without the soul, body cannot do. So you need a soul to do that, and then you need the senses like karmendriyas. Your legs should go there. Your hand should open the freezer, take out the ice cream and things like that. But then you sit down to eat it, and then it slips from your hand and falls to the ground, because you need to have the permission of the super soul also to be able to eat it. So in everything that we do, there's a permission of the super soul. And so that might make us think that, oh, so super soul makes me do all kinds of bad things because he's the one who gives me the permission. Right? So he's equally responsible and he should also be punished like that. Right? But we have to remember that we have got this material body in order to fulfill our desires. Right? So whatever your desires are, he's just upadrishta and anumanta. He's just looking at you and he will sanction. He's looking at you, he'll sanction, as long as you are on the material platform. Now, as you start progressing in devotional service, then super soul can take complete control of your life. He can just take your hand and then start guiding you, instead of just, observing you and saying, okay, you can do it. Okay, you can do it all the time. Right? When things are wrong, then it will stop you and give you Desham evanukam partham aham agyanajam tama, what Varshana Mataji said as a special mercy. It's a special mercy of Krishna that he will, from within your heart, he will tell you to do something or not to do something like that.
That's very interesting, Mataji, what you just said, that when you are a devotee, at what level that Sri Krishna takes over and guides you in everything, instead of we do it. We are here in material worlds to fulfill our desire, understand, and we do things our way, and Krishna sanctions. We ask or not, I don't know, but the other one, the second part that you said, he takes over. I really like it. At what point of time in the sense, not time, but at what stage of a devotees that Krishna takes over? Yeah. What stage?
It's a gradual process, like how they say that you first catch somebody's fingers and then they go and catch your wrist, like that, right? There's a saying in India. So similarly, to the extent that you surrender to Krishna, to that extent he will, to the extent you allow him to take control, he will take control, like that.
So then we do the bhakti, 9 bhaktis, yes. Chanting, reading, yes, understanding, and attentive chanting. that will, then Krishna will take over. That's the true surrender, right? True surrender. I still need to read though. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So for surrender, there are a couple of things that you need to do. One is that you have to do things which are favorable to Krishna. You have to forgo things which are not favorable to Krishna. And you need to have the faith that what Krishna is my protector and Krishna is my maintainer. Rakshishati iti vishwashu, and he will take care of me also. So these are stages of, surrender to Krishna. There's 6 stages mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita purports like that. So, so you have to reach that stage, and a super soul is sort of talking to us, but not as we talk here like that. But there is a voice of conscience in you, right? That is a super soul that talks, and it's our free will whether we want to listen to it or not. Right? We can ignore it. The super soul can say, "Don't do it," and you'll say, "I want to do it." Right? As kids do, parents can tell, "Don't do it," and they say, "I'm going to still do it."
We do it too all the time, I guess. Isn't it? I mean, if we observe ourselves during the day, at the end of the day or a week or something, we find it that so many things that's done, that's not per the will of Krishna.
Yes. Yes. And it's all because of our mind. And Archana Mataji is saying that, she liked the fact that Krishna said, of all the senses, I am the mind. And in the living beings, I'm the living force. Because Krishna is saying here in this, just talking about the opulence, so the best of the best. So for everything which is there in the material world that you can see, he's saying that the best of that group is what Krishna is. For example, he said, among the horses, I'm Uchreshava. So among all the horses, Uchreshava is a very good horse because it can fly. Yeah, no other horses fly like that. So similarly here, he's saying that of all the senses, I'm the mind because it's very strong. It's a 6th sense, right? It controls the other senses which are there like that. All the other 10 senses that are under the control of the mind. So, so again, it's our mind which has to be purified, which will lead us to the surrender. And I
have a question. I wanted to ask, when we hear that voice, inner voice, is it the voice of our intelligence or super soul?
it is difficult, but you will figure it out. You will know that it is my intelligence that is speaking, because you are deducing, interpreting, and those kind of things that you're doing. Voices of super soul will be more like a statement, like how when Brahma was born and he didn't know what to do, then a sound came, he just said tapa, just like an instruction which is coming. Do it, don't do it. There won't be any reasoning behind it. You know, right? And the guidance, sometimes you won't even know, but when you are doing things that you would have not normally done, in your day-to-day life, or in your process of trying to do something, understand that is a super soul that is acting. For example, we have a class in the mornings on Saturdays, and I help with the broadcast of the team. So I have to talk to the other broadcasters. So because of that, I have to unmute my line. Or if I have to ask a question or share a reflection in the class, I have to unmute my line. And then sometimes I might forget to mute myself, right? And then, calls also come because people are asking me things, or they're texting me things pertaining to the broadcast. And sometimes I don't have time to type. So I'd rather, just go and dictate into my phone so that they can hear my voice message. And today I was just, about to dictate something on my phone like that. And then I do not know why my hands went to the screen. Although I was 100% sure that I had muted myself, I went there and I was on unmute. I was not muted. I was there. And if I had just dictated all the things, everybody would have, all the 500 people who were watching Guru Maharaj's lecture would have heard me, dictate like that on the phone. So sometimes, Super Soul will guide you like that also. It's something that you'd have never done. My intelligence was telling me that you are muted, but super soul kind of just so that's the extent to which, like, higher is the, we say, right, in the hierarchy we say lowest are the sense dull matter, but the dull matter is the senses, above the senses the mind, above the mind is the intelligence, above the intelligence is the soul, and above the soul is the super soul, right? So all the other lower things were telling me that I'm muted, but then because he can control everything, so he controlled my neck, and moved it from here to here onto the screen to see with that and show me that I'm not muted. I'm not muted like that. So you will see, observe. Observation
Yeah,
is very
Mataji, even
important.
not this is something happened to you like on live basis. Like you were just doing it and suddenly you realize that you are muted or muted. Like it even happens like you can if you connect the dots from the past that oh this is something that happened like way before it happened and now I'm seeing its effect. So then you realize oh that's why that this is something that happened and that time maybe you might be thinking that what is like is it right or wrong? But with time you realize no like whatever it is good for you like we say no that if something happens it happens for good if something doesn't happen it happens for very good so yeah.
I like that. If something happens, it happens for good. If something doesn't happen, it happens for very good. I like
Yeah.
very nice statement. Yeah. Yeah, Nishta. And also, you know, that when you go to sleep, who wakes you up in the morning? You know, it's the super soul.
It is
Yeah,
the
right.
super
Yeah.
soul, Mataji. Yes, I have experienced this, Mataji.
Yeah. Super soul is very nice.
And
But
if super soul wakes and then you still want to sleep, that is our own stupidness or Maya Devi acting there.
You know what? It's the soul that desires. We have to first understand that everything that we do is coming from my desires. Everything that I do, there is a desire behind it. Now, in order to fulfill your desire, your material body will be involved in doing it, and your subtle body will be involved in carrying out that desire. And you might not even know the workings of these things, right? I mean, how do the legs muscles flex each other, and how am I able to walk? What is the process of walking? How am I able to talk? The process of talking, I don't know. I just talk, right? Like that. But how does the tongue move? How are the sounds generating? How are my vocal cords vibrating? What's the frequency, what's the node, antinode? I don't know about anything at all, right? And I'm able to do that because I had a desire to do something. And so at the, in the at the source is the desire. And so the Buddhists will tell you that you become desireless, which is not possible. And our philosophy is that you have desires for which are transcendental, which are related to Krishna. Once you engage your desires and dovetail your desires with Krishna's desires, then everything runs very smoothly. It's like you're working in an organization, and the organization has got a certain agenda. And for example, the organization wants to sell their products in a certain section of the country. I'm just giving you a crude example. So they want to sell it there. So as an employee of the organization, if you sell the stuff there, then it's good, right? If you're a salesperson there, if you're selling the stuff in that territory where the company wants to focus on, you're good. But if you're not listening to that, if you try to sell it somewhere else, then it's not good for you because they will sack you pretty soon, like that. So as long as we align our desires with Krishna, then things are good for us. And if you don't, then they are not good, like that.
Mataji, I have a question that I have been my own desire that every day I think I gotta finish this Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitanam, all these books and other books that I have, and my mind tells me tomorrow morning I'll start reading, and it's who's telling me? It's my desire or Krishna is telling me to go read. Come on, if the students in this class are so advanced, Mataji, I haven't studied, honestly. So I wanted to, but I'm not able to. That also is a fact.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, because so you have to go and look into the source of that, right? And just going back to just hanging on to the other concept that was there earlier, which said that where I was saying that the super soul wakes you up, and so we were saying that, and what if after the super soul wakes me up, I don't get out of the bed, right? So who was it who was saying? Was it I don't know where it happened? Was that conversation that happened here or someplace else? And the lady was saying that her mom used to tell her that when she would come to wake her up, and so if you're asleep and your mom can wake you up, right? But if you are in the bed and you're already awake, Your mom cannot wake you up. You have to get out of the bed yourself. She cannot do that for you. So you see, the mom can only wake you out of that sleep, but then after that, you have to do your thing. And so Charu Mataji, and so Sudevi Mataji, for that, Krishna will wake you up, but then again, the free will kicks in again, that I don't want to get out of the bed, right? And Maya will help you and tell you so many other things, why you should not get out of the bed. So now that you have this desire in you, Charu Mataji, to attend and read, one thing I would say, and which we practiced in one of the Bhagavad Gita classes earlier, was to have a short, small goal which is achievable. So rather than saying that I want to read this and this and this all together, and they are big books, so we should take them small steps at a time. And so start with Bhagavad Gita. And in today's lecture, Vaisheshika Prabhu was very clear. He just said that Bhagavad Gita is the book to read, because everything that you want to know is in the Bhagavad Gita. It is there. And you will be so surprised that as you go and read the higher and the more, elaborate and exotic shastras, and which you have to sometimes read if there's nobody to tell you, which explain some of the concepts. And as soon as you get the concept, you say, aha, there was a verse in Bhagavad Gita that said the same thing, like that. So Bhagavad Gita has everything in it. It has everything. It's just that, we don't know how to milk the cow, right? But Arjuna did that. He became a calf and he drank the milk of Bhagavad Gita, like that. So when you have that spark and the desire to do devotional service, to attend the Bhagavad Gita class, then you should get into the association of devotees who are doing that. You might need a mentor, like somebody, a friend who can just say, I have woken people up in the morning on their request. They request me, can you, you get up early in the morning, can you wake me up at 5:30? Can you just call me? And don't hang up the phone till I answer you, like that. So you need a mentor and a buddy also to help you with that. Chalk out a plan, right? Chalk out a small plan and make voluntary lifestyle changes, right? For example, if you're not able to attend the class because it's happening early in the morning, then try to sleep early in the night. And voluntary small lifestyle changes. It cannot happen overnight that, I used to go to sleep at 1:00 and then today I'm going to sleep at 10. It's not going to happen. Slowly start moving the line by 5 minutes every day. In 12 days, you will be, an hour ahead, like that. Because it has to be done slowly.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
You do it, but keep on have a house on fire desire. Keep that desire going. Keep that desire going, because Maya will come and explain to you so many reasons why you should not do that. But do it. Yeah.
Correct.
Yes. And even if you like fall down, and fall down is a big thing, but I'm just using that term. Even if you fall down and not able to come to a class, right? Let that not bother you and bog you down. You say, okay, fine, I'll try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. And keep on trying again and again until Maya will get bored of your steadfastness and say, all right, fine.
Correct, Mataji. That's a good point. Watch out for Maya, because every excuses we have is a Maya one way or other, right? Every excuses, because Sri Krishna says, do this, then who's coming in your way? Maya only, right?
Yes.
So that we need to watch out. I need to watch out and point it out, maybe write it down, and then go from there.
Yes, it's a good thing to remind yourself. You can put things for yourself, like I need to attend my Bhagavad Gita class. You can make it the background of your computer. You can write it, have a picture of that as your background, iPhone. You can stick it to your refrigerator. Everywhere you need to have reminders. We do put reminders in our day-to-day lives, right? If I have to attend a meeting, I'll put 6 alarms before that, make sure that I don't oversleep and things like that. So with that same fervor, we have to also address devotional service. And even more. Yeah.
These classes are really helping, Mataji.
Awesome.
This class is really helping, because it feels like you can hear other devotees' questions, answers, and your comments on that and everything.
Yeah. That's what they say. Association of devotees is important, because you take a verse and then you see here 6 devotees looked at the same verse or same chapter in so many different ways. Somebody picked up one aspect, another aspect, and we go in our mind like, oh, I didn't think about that. Oh, yeah. Right. Any other thoughts? Any other comments before we go to the next, which is chapter 9?
I like that text 7, Mataji.
Okay, and what does text 7 say?
So one who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. I like that sentence. Of this, there is no doubt.
Right. And
I'm
so many
trying for that unalloyed devotional service, Mataji.
Exactly. And then look at the guarantee he gives, like, no doubt. Of this, have no doubt. So many times he says in Bhagavad Gita, don't have that doubt. Ma suchaha, sarv dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshisyami ma suchaha. Again and again, he says.
Yeah.
He says that. Yeah. And then also, one of the things that the verse says here is that one who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind, right, engages in unalloyed devotional service. So you have to be convinced that he has got it. But then it also explains that why Krishna is saying that. Because for us who are so lofty and who've got so much of ego, right, that we don't want to accept it easily that there's somebody who is controlling me, that I'm so helpless.
Even though I know I keep forgetting it throughout the day, the due course of the day, so many things happen. So I keep thinking why he's doing that, why she's doing that, why he's like that, she's doing that to me. And
Yes.
Forgetting that Krishna's role is there. So
Yes.
once I get that understanding, then everything stops there. But until I get that understanding, it goes
right,
on.
Right. And you know what, Mataji, if you increase your chanting, of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that helps, because you're doing chanting the names of the Lord, you'll get his mercy. And then as Varshana Mataji pointed out in her verse, right? Tesham eva anukam partham aham ajnanam tamha. So he will do as a special mercy to you. He will give you that remembrance. In 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also says that Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta matta smritir jnanam apohonam cha. So he says, from me come remembrance, remembrance and forgetfulness also. So memory will also come, and memory will come or not come, and forgetfulness will come and not come. So usually we equate forgetfulness to be something wrong, like it's an inferior thing, like she forgot. But no, sometimes, to forget the bad things others have done to us is a big relief.
Yes.
But the mind will not let you do that. It'll keep on churning. It'll keep on bringing it to the forefront, keep on reminding you. And it's amazing. You meet somebody after 20 years and they might have done something to you 20 years ago. And guess what? When you see them, what's the thought that first comes to your mind? It's that, right? He owes me $500, like that. So, but then Krishna can, help you by forgetting these things which are nagging us and which are bothering us. So much so that, you just forget. Like sometimes it used to happen that how as young people, we do that. Like, we don't like something that somebody did, they didn't talk nicely to us. And then we stop talking to them, and they are college mates and they come to the college and things like that. And so you are, but you were very, very pally with that person. And so you have this huge spill, and now you're not talking, and so you turn your face away and things like that. And then one fine day, you just forget everything, and that person is coming and you smile, and that person smiles back. And then you have no choice other than to say, hello, how you're doing, and then everything is forgotten. So why did that thing happen to you on that particular day, right? So things like that forgetfulness is also given to you by Krishna.
Mataji, on that note, a small comment. It's like mostly these our devotees here on IT. So it's like clearing your disk. So if you have too much full, then it is not going to bring you the screen that you want fast on your demand. And therefore, if it's cleansing of the disk and make it faster to do what you really want to do.
Very, very good analogy. And I'd like to expand that a little bit more, that when your hard disk is full, what do? We get an external hard disk.
That's a good We get too many external hard disks.
External hard disk.
Yes.
And we put it here, and whatever is here, it goes in here so that we can
Right.
retrieve it and bring it back in here whenever we want, right?
Mhm.
And we derive pleasure, we derive pleasure in hating somebody. We derive pleasure in getting angry at somebody. There is a subtle pleasure there. So yeah, don't get any external hard disks for bad things.
Just clean the disk.
Just
That's it.
clean up.
Yeah.
Cheto Tarpana Marjanam.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
Cheto Tarpana Marjanam. Yeah, just clean it and wash it and then flush it away.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to welcome my godbrother Ramakrishna Veeravalli, who has joined us here as well. Please accept my obeisances to you, and Hemlata Patel, Mataji is also here. Okay, in addition to all, and Gautami Ganga Prabhu is also there. Awesome. Okay, thank you for joining the call. Right. This chapter is so rich, right? It's talking about the opulences, so we can never finish talking about it. Yeah, but the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita are in the 4 verses there, 8, 9, 10, and 11, right? And which says, number 1, it says that it is stating the facts that everything comes from me, right? And then knowing this, the intelligent people, they worship me, and then they sit down with the mat chitta mat gatha prana. They sit down with other devotees and they enjoy my pastimes like that. And then he says that I give them the intelligence. When they're doing all this, I will give them the intelligence by which they will come to me. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upyanti te. And then in the end, he says that Tesham evanukam partham, right? That if suppose somebody doesn't find a guru, right? He's in some far corner, he's living in Antarctica, and he's gone there. Like that. He doesn't find a guru. So then Krishna from inside will become the Chet Guru and guide him. So from inside, Krishna guides you as one guru, and from outside, your guru guides you. So if you don't have a guru for a reason, but you are doing, devotional service to him, satata yuktanam, always, without deviation, you're doing it, then Krishna will help you. Krishna will guide you like that. So that is the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita. If you remember these 4 things and you mold your life around these 4 verses, all auspiciousness will come to you because you are on the right path.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, today I had decided to, chant my rounds first, and then I will listen to your recording of today's class. Mataji, I just couldn't chant. I had to leave the bees. I said, no, first attend the class and then chant the holy name, because you will never go back and listen to the recording sometime.
Yeah, but chanting actually is the top priority, though. I mean, if this discussions in the group, they help you set the mood to go and do good chanting after that, then that's okay. But chanting is first. It's the first priority.
No, I agree with you, Mataji. But this I lose the interaction of the devotees and yours. So I feel this is also important.
I know. Yeah, I can understand the dilemma. Okay. All right. Anything more coming? You want to turn and you want to get more out of chapter 10? What do you say? Kathy Mataji, I didn't hear your reflections today, or did you?
18 shloka Arjuna says, right? The more I listen, I want to hear more and more about your opulences, as it is limitless.
Yeah.
That is the situation.
That's the situation. Yeah. And especially in Saturday, we are in an easy mood, right? Because it's Sunday tomorrow, so yeah. And for Vashana Mataji, it's already Sunday morning.
For us, Mataji, different. Saturday and Sunday are super duper busy.
Yeah, for you.
Yes,
for you it's different.
But it's fun here. Lots of learning and understanding helps big time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's also interesting that, the kind of topics that you pick up for discussion. I mean, you just have to go to internet and, just see what people are discussing. On Facebook also, people go live and they're discussing all kinds of things under the sun. which is very agitating to the mind, right? You can pick up something which is happening in the material world, and then you can just knock yourself out crazy by just discussing and listening to that over and over again. You go to Facebook, you hear that. You go to tune in your television, you hear that. You go to Netflix, you get a movie on that topic, and that's it. You don't even know where you are now. Your mind gets so boggled. So it's also the quality of things that you're discussing. And that's why in this verse that Kathy Mataji picked up today, Arjuna is saying that I want to drink the nectar of your words, right? So Krishna's words. And why are we enjoying it? Because we are also drinking the nectar of his words, right? Through the Bhagavad Gita, through the medium of Srila Prabhupada, who translated that into English for us so that we can relish it like that. Yeah. Good. So, nevertheless, no matter how good it feels, there are some problems that are there. And Kathy Mataji, I think, would have already sent you the problem list.
Yes, so it's in the chat window of Zoom.
And I can share it on the WhatsApp group as well.
Ooh, wow. She's spreading the problems, huh? Okay. So if Kathy is doing that, I will also do it. I'll bring up the document here on the screen for all of you to look at. And let's see, chapter 9. And who goes in next to read it?
Sudevi Mataji's turn.
Sudevi Mataji's turn. And thank you, by the way, Sudevi Mataji and Kathy Mataji, for I saw your message just a few minutes before the class started, and I was already on to some other things. So you have taken the Bhagyapti Panchika prayers and you have started putting the word meanings on that, right? Thank you so much. And then I will look at that, over the weekend.
All glories to Sudevi Mataji for inspiring to do this. So
Mataji, I had no glories, Mataji. Just, I think Shraddha Mataji interested us with one task, which I think we, at least I tell about Kathy Mataji, but I think I am not qualified. And then we realized after taking up the job, and then we did whatever we could do in our limited capacity, Mataji.
Yeah, but this is how Krishna does it, because he planted that idea in my heart. And this is how he acts so swiftly that somewhere in your subtle mind, in your subtle body is a desire to go a little bit deeper into Sanskrit, right? And so when you spoke that, then Super Soul will plant that idea, like, why don't you tell her to do it? And it happens in a fraction of a microsecond. And then immediately I blurt it out, and then you take it and you then say like, oh, I can't do it. And then Kathy jumps in and she says, I will help, and like that, right? And that's how it happens. I mean, look at Varshana. She collected the names of everybody. A person who would not even touch the computer. Like that. She went and learned Google, and I know she's calling Suyash to learn something more like that, Facebook and things like that. So yes.
no, Mataji, I think when Sudevi Mataji said, I was like, I don't know, even I'm not qualified. Why did I take it? I don't think so I can do like a good job. And all I did is Google. So sorry, Mataji.
That's fine.
Mataji, Suraj is saying Hare Krishna to everyone.
This is Suraj. Okay. Hare Krishna, Suraj. Chitra Mataji, you had a desire to see Suraj, right? He's here. Okay. Very good. All right. So who's going in next to read?
Sudevi Mataji.
All right. One paragraph each, please.
Mataji, it is not yet shared, the screen.
I'm not sharing the screen? Oh my goodness. Isn't that ridiculous? I ask you to read and don't share it with you? That's wrong. Okay, here we go. Can you see it now?
Yes, Mataji. So
Yes,
today's
Mataji.
title is Understanding the Real Problems of Life. All endeavors made in the field of science is to reduce the miseries of mankind and to increase his comforts. A fan is used to reduce the misery of sweating. A grinder is used to avoid the misery of manual grinding. A motorcycle is used to avoid the misery of pedaling. These are simple examples. In a similar way, advances in science, technology, and medicine are aimed at reducing the miseries and, if possible, ending them altogether.
But But actually, if one analyzes deeply, one understands that these daily problems are simply symptoms of deeper real problems. Underneath this dazzle, the real problems of life still persist.
In our pursuit of happiness, it is imperative to understand the nature of miseries and problems that we face. What do we mean by a problem? A simple explanation could be a problem is to get what we do not want and to not get what we want. A problem of a homemaker is dealing with the constant increase in grocery prices. A problem for student is constant threat of exams. A problem for an employee is to deal with the increasing demands and stress at work. A problem for businessmen is to deal with the fluctuating economy. Varshana Mataji, your turn.
Yes, being caught up, be, being caught up in the immediate problems of life, we hardly think of the real problems that every one of us have to face in life. However, the purpose of life is to identify and solve the real problems of life. All the petty problems that we face in our life, in day-to-day lives, are symptoms of these real problems of life. Hare Krishna.
So, what are the real problems of life? A problem could be considered real if, number one, it is common to all. Number two, nobody wants it. Number three, nobody can avoid it. And number four, solving which all other symptomatic problems are resolved permanently. So I'll stop here, pause here to pick up these, definitions of what is or the features of real problems. And I want to have keepers for that. So I'm looking for 4 volunteers who can, when being called upon, can tell us what the feature is. So the first one is that for a real problem is common to all. So C for common. It's common to all. Who wants to take that?
Mataji, you mean to say speak one word for that? The problem, define it? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm just saying that you are the keeper of that. So that later in the class today, when I say what is the first symptom of a real problem, you should be able to tell me what it is.
Oh, I see.
Okay?
I can take that one, Mataji.
You want to take the first one? It is C for common to all. Okay. The second one is N, and it is nobody wants it. So who wants to take that?
I can take that, Shraddha Mataji.
Okay, so Sonal Mataji is the keeper for nobody wants it. So I have Sudevi, I have Sonal Mataji, and the third one is nobody can avoid it. Although you don't want it, but you can't avoid it.
I can take it, Mataji.
Kyati Majidi takes the one, nobody can avoid it. And then the fourth is that solving this, all other symptomatic problems are resolved permanently. Who wants to take that? S for solving.
My Prabhu will take it.
Okay, well, so there are 2 symptoms there. And then we have Sonal Mataji and we have Sudevi Mataji. Okay, so we go back again to Sonal Mataji now. She's going to read it.
Simply solving the symptoms may temporarily avoid suffering, but does not solve the problem itself. For example, a person suffering from yellow fever may show several symptoms like fever, muscle pain, loss of appetite, and nausea. If the patient receives medicines that simply treat these symptoms individually, the symptoms may subside for some time but will reappear because the real problem, yellow fever, is still not cured. However, an expert doctor will identify the real problem by taking note of the symptoms and administer a cure for yellow fever, which will cure the symptoms along with it.
Krishna, the problems that fulfill the above criteria of real problems are explained below. Disease. No one wants any disease. There are so many different kinds of diseases, and medical science is trying to find remedies for them. But medical history shows that by the time science finds a cure for the disease, another more deadly disease comes up, as has happened in the case of cancer, syphilis, gonorrhea, AIDS, etc. We may cure one disease for some time, but we cannot eradicate all diseases. The pain suffered through disease is a common experience for everyone and needs no one further explanation. Hare Krishna.
Old age. No one wants to get old. A millionaire spent millions of dollars employing several doctors to find out whether he could stop getting old and remain youthful forever. But the doctors realized that even if they were to understand the mechanism of aging, they wouldn't be able to find a solution to reverse it in the millionaire's lifetime. We were all children some years ago. Later, we grow to youth and eventually to old age. The cosmetic industry is flourishing only due to fear of old age.
Who goes after that? Preeti is.
Preeti Radhika Mataji.
Preeti is there on the call. Is she there on the call?
No, I don't see her, Mataji.
Yeah, we will skip her.
So I think next is Sudevi.
Yeah, I'll go.
Chitra Mataji, yeah, sorry.
So, death. Steve Jobs said, no one wants to die. Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. No one has ever escaped it because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. No one wants death. In the Garuda Purana, one of the ancient Vedic scriptures, it is mentioned that death is extremely painful and the dying person experiences a pain that is equivalent to 40,000 scorpions biting simultaneously. In nature, we see that even the tiniest creatures display amazing abilities and techniques for escaping death when their lives are threatened. But death is inevitable for all living beings, and everyone has to face it one day, though it is fearsome and painful. Hare Krishna.
Birth. Birth is an extremely painful experience for the living entity. For 9 long months, the human fetus lies cramped within the darkness of the womb, suffering severely, scorched by the mother's gastric fire, continually jolted by sudden movements, and feeling constant pressure from being contained in a small sac which surrounds him in the womb. This tight, constricting packet forces the child's back to arch constantly like a bow. Furthermore, hungry worms in the abdominal cavity torment the child. The child passes stool and urine in the same packet. Such is the misery of birth.
The wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, an ancient text on Bhakti Yoga, says that the goal of a human form of life is to perceive the problems of birth, old age, disease, and death and find out the permanent solution for them. The Gita also states that we are not this temporary body, but the eternal spirit soul. The root cause of all problems is the eternal conscious, blissful soul identify itself as the temporary, miserable material body. The Gita recommends the practice of Bhakti Yoga as the solution that can give the realization of the eternal identity of the soul.
One may argue the problems of birth, old age, disease, and death come only once in a while. We can just ignore them and enjoy the life for remaining time. But at every moment, everyone is suffering due to at least one of the following threefold miseries. You can
miseries caused by one's own mind and body, adhyatmic klesha. The body and the mind gives rise to innumerable problems. According to World Health Organization, WHO, statistics in the year 2000 in America, 19 million youth were suffering from mental related illness. Every day, 1,200 youth were attempting to commit suicide, and 1/10 of them were successful. Thus, sometimes people are driven to the point to suicide due to mental frustration. In old age, The deteriorating body gives varieties of problems. For example, once a person grows beyond 80 years, generally he can't even sit or stand without back pain. Hare Krishna. Okay, Krishna.
Misery is caused by other living entities, adi bhautika klesha. Even if we have a healthy body and mind, and other living beings may inflict miseries upon us. Even if everything is nicely arranged in our lives, some other living entity, such as our enemy, boss, colleague, relative, family member, or friend, terrorist, or if no one else than a mosquito or a virus, is sure to make our life miserable. What to talk of a virus making the life miserable these days?
Miseries caused by nature, adi daivika klesha, floods, droughts, famines, earthquakes, hurricanes, etc., are devastating calamities imposed upon us through the agency of nature. A volcanic eruption at Pompeii devoured 20,000 people under a 20-foot high lava layer. The recent tsunami tidal wave disaster swallowed 3,080,000 lives in a few minutes. Even if these come only occasionally, they wreak havoc whenever they come. And moreover, we are being constantly tormented by the changes in weather, such as scorching heat, freezing cold, and untimely rains.
Hare Krishna, can we say that we are not constantly being harassed by those problems? A wise person would wonder, why should our lives be ridden with the anxiety of facing and tackling one problem after another? I do not want miseries. I do not want unhappiness. What is it being imposed upon me when I want happiness? I want peace of mind. I want bliss. Why is it eluding me? Why am I not able to find happiness? When I have missed it, when have I missed it? Where did formula go wrong? Is this the purpose? What is the destination of life? Where am I heading to? Is this all life meant for me? Or is there a life of eternal joy that is never inhibited by sufferings? To inquire these questions, purpose of human life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wow. So after going through that whole list of problems, etc., isn't it a big relief that the wise are going to ask that question, that is there a life of eternal joy that is never inhibited by these sufferings? And the fact that there is something like that, isn't that a big relief? Otherwise, we could have just been miserable, life after life after life, with no out at all.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
There's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, because people might just think that what's going to happen? What's going to happen at the end of life? Am I going to end in darkness, or is there a light after these cycles of birth and death are over by my endeavors? Yeah.
It's an eye-opening chapter, Mataji.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is.
But the truth is that the circle of birth and death doesn't end unless you do something about it with the help of Krishna, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, it becomes just like an automated process, and you go through it without even thinking.
Yes. It works on some complex algorithm.
And we require Krishna's mercy to get this higher plane, Mataji.
Yes. And Krishna is always giving mercy, but we are not able, our receptors are not tuned.
You
right?
got
It was not tuned to capture that. So we have to tune to that channel. And sometimes we are not able to tune because we don't know the know-how. And that is why the devotees come into picture, they will help you. And that is why they will go, that is why Prabhupada translated his books, as a measure of his mercy towards all of us, those who were there on the planet at that time, plus all the generations who are coming after that, right? And then he had said that the ISKCON movement is going to be there for 10,000 years. So you can imagine that will be quite a few generations that will benefit from his books. And then there are others who are going door to door, distributing books, talking to people about books, talking to them about this fantastic philosophy, so that, they can come out of wherever they are, wake up from their sleeps and start asking these questions. And it's amazing that we are on an autopilot. When things go wrong, we blame God. When things are right, we congratulate ourselves, like that, right? That's how the equation is. And we forget. So we forget about the essence. Like most of the times people come to me with their problems, right? That I'm having this problem, I'm having that problem, and that most of the time they come and say that, that person's not behaving nicely, my husband is not treating me nicely, my wife doesn't listen to me, my boss is giving me grief. What do I do about all these other people? They behave obnoxiously, my child is not listening to me, like that, right? Most of the time we're talking about that, but then there are some real problems in life, and we ignore that because we are in ignorance. We ignore that. When you ignore these facts of life, then you are put into ignorance, like that. So what are the real four, what are the real four problems of life? We just read about them. So first,
birth, old age, disease, and death.
Death, right? And why are we calling them as a problem? And why are we calling them as a real problem? Because we said a real problem has got certain characteristics, and there were four characteristics, right?
Common to all.
Common to all. Very good. What's number two?
Nobody wants it.
Okay. Number two, I'm asking the keepers. Yeah.
Nobody wants it. Yeah.
Okay. And then?
Nobody can avoid it.
Nobody can avoid it. And then?
Solving which all other symptomatic problems are resolved permanently.
All right. So if you solve those problems of birth, death, old age, and disease, right? Then, so let's see, how are we going to solve the problem of death? It says if you solve it, right? But how am I going to solve it? How do I solve? I don't know.
We can make it easier. Our last moment, we can make it easier by preparing our life for that moment. So we can prepare our life by spending each moment in relation to Krishna, so that at the last moment we are able to remember him or chant his name at least.
Okay, so let's take back a few steps, and you're on the right track, but let's see, how did you get to that track, right? And how will we make sure that we're going to remember Krishna at the end of our life, right? And how will we mold our life so that we remember him at the end of our lives, like that, right? So first we have to see the cause of birth. What is the root cause? That's what they were saying, right? Yellow fever. If a person has got yellow fever, and if I'm just applying medicine to the symptoms of it, like for example, somebody has got fever, how can you bring down somebody's fever? You can put a cloth of water in cold water, you can put it on his forehead, or you can sponge his whole body, and the temperature will go down, right? But after a few hours, you will see that the temperature is back again too high. So we have not solved the problem. We have just, kind of subdued the symptoms of it. So in order to solve a problem, we have to go to the root cause. So what do you think is the cause of birth?
Mataji, death.
Desires, Mataji. All the desires to fulfill,
Yes.
we have to take birth.
Yes.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Yudhishthir Maharaj replies to Yakshas, right? When the Pandavas were like all died, he says that death is for body, it is not for the soul. So we think that we are attached to this body, and that is why there is a death. So death is for body, not for the soul.
Absolutely. And actually there is no death for the body also. I mean, like, it's not that something changes in the body and the body is dead, because body is dead always. It is made up of dead matter. Matter is dead. It's the soul that is real. The real living force is the soul. And it's just that when the soul enters the body, then the body is animated, and is able to do things like that. But yes, and we are reading in Bhagavad Gita, right, Khyati? Second chapter these days. It's a relief, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Ashochian anavashochastvam pragyavadam sabhashase gatasun agatasun cha nanu shotanti pandita. So that's what Krishna is saying, that you are lamenting for what is not worthy of being lamenting, and that is you lamenting for the bodies of your relatives, like that. Yeah. So you see that if you have to get, so the first thing is that to understand, so Devi Mataji, that what is the cause of my birth, right? So we understand that the cause of my birth is that
Desire.
I is my desires, right? I wanted to enjoy. I want to enjoy. So if you want to get rid of that, then we have to curb these desires that we have. And slowly, but the soul has a nature to desire. You cannot just tell that don't desire. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So it said, no, you cannot artificially control your desires and say, okay, I'm not going to desire anything from now onwards. It will be desireless. Like, the Buddhist philosophy also tells you that, you finish all, this whole world is situated on desire, and they're right. But then, so you become desireless. And that is something that you cannot achieve, being desireless. So the solution for that is that you improve the quality of your desires. They are material desires right now, and that's why you get a material body. If you want to get a spiritual body, then a mathematics student can tell me what should be the type of my desires. Right? If you have material desires, you get material body. If I want
Purify the desires, Mother.
purify, and what is meant by purifying? What is
Meaning aligned with Krishna's desires.
Krishna's desire, right? So our desire should always be to please Krishna. And then, so once you know, like, as people, we are logical people. We need to understand why we are doing this. So why we are doing a life of devotional service. Why do I have to do devotional service, right? So it says that Vishya Vini Vartate, artificially stopping your desires is not going to help you at all, right? For example, if somebody prohibits you from doing something, right? The desire to do that becomes even more strong. I have to do it. I have to do it because I'm built like that. So, and then, okay, I might not do it because of fear, but there's nobody who can prevent me from thinking about it, right? So I could be a pretender. I might say, okay, I've given this up. I don't do it, but I'm thinking and I'm meditating on that all the time. And maybe I'm just waiting for, like, when is my mom going to turn her back on me and I'm going to do it like that, right? So, it's not possible to artificially control. Rasavarjam rasupyasya param drishtva nivartate. But if you find something which is much more at a higher level, on the desire also, if you get to a situation where you're able to desire something higher, then it'll be easier for you to give up the lower desires, like that. For example, you like dal, eating dal a lot, and somebody says you can't have dal, don't have dal. But then you're thinking about that because you like it. But then you come across sambar and you say, oh, sambar, yeah, I can give up dal now because I found sambar, like that, Of course, sambar technically is also dal, but just so you understand. Concept that there's something higher. So you have to get something higher to be able to give up what you have. Otherwise, it's not possible. Like there's a job, we don't like the job. I'll switch the job. Now, when I switch the job, will I switch a job when the boss is equally bad, the pay is equally low or lower, the working hours are the same or more? Why would I do that? Right? I will not do it. So only when we have better prospects when we see some better prospects, are we, willing to make the change. And what could be a better prospect than to engage in devotional service of the Lord? Because it's one thing that's going to take care of all the symptoms which are there, of the problems. So for that, yeah. So rasavarjam rasyapyasya param drishtva nivartate. So you will develop, now that also now philosophically now why you have to develop a taste. And if you don't have a taste, you pray for it, because that's also such the scriptures are telling you to do that. So to Shraddha devi Mataji's point that I have to remember Krishna at the time of death, and for that I have to live a life in such a manner that I will be able to remember him at the time of death. And Vaishnav tells us that, one of his godbrothers or somebody he knew, he had a near-death experience. And this guy used to chant and was on to dedicated to devotional service. But he said that when I had a near-death experience, an advertisement jingle came to his head at that time. So you see, we have no idea what can happen at the time of death. And that's why it should be a life of preparation. You have to prepare for death. We have to prepare for death. And preparing for death just doesn't mean that I have written my will, which is an important thing. You have to take care of the material side of your life as well. It doesn't mean that I just write my will and I tell them they know what type of a coffin they should use and what sort of a ceremonies I need and whether I'm going to donate my organs or not. this is some sort of a preparation for that, but that is not the real preparation for death. The real preparation for death is that, how can I remember Krishna at the time of my death? That should be my endeavor. And that should be my goal. And towards that goal, I should mold my life. And Krishna says that in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He says that yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajyate ante kalevaram tam tam evati konteya sada tad bhava bhavita. So whatever one thinks at the time of death, he's going to get that body. Right? Classic example, big example, famous example from Bhagavatam.
Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj.
Bharat Maharaj got the body of a deer, right? Yeah. And I'd like to welcome Kamla Mataji, Bihari Midangam Das Prabhu. Suruchi is also joined us there. And Rita Berry Mataji from Modesto, she's joining the call. She's watching us as well. Thank you so much for joining the call. So, so Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam. So what the Krishna is telling him, that you have to remember me, right? And then what does he say? Few verses down in that same chapter, he goes and says that Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha, right? So that all the time you think about me and do the yuddha, because he's saying, well, yuddha is saying to Arjuna, right? Yuddhacha, but we have our own yuddha. The whole day we have some sort of a yuddha, right? Sometimes the war is on a subtle level. It could be a cold war. It could be a war of words. It could be a fisty fight, whatever it is. There are different kinds of wars that, or I could be fighting my own anarthas. There's always fighting going on. The Mahabharata is constantly on. And our enemies are more formidable than the Kauravas. The Kauravas were expert in military science, and that's it. You can get a good weapon and you can kill them, right? But our anarthas, they're worse, and they are there 24/7. At least the Mahabharata war was fought from sunrise to sundown, like that. These anarthas, they attack us 24/7 all the time, and so we have to be careful about that. Right? We have to make sure that I'm on my fighting all the time, and that's why Krishna says Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu. So,
Mataji, when you said 24/7, right? That's what I thought when you said, okay, Saturday and Sundays we think it's a holiday, but I don't feel that in my mind. So that is
very good point. Yeah, very good point.
That's a state of mind which hopefully means all this nectar really helps us get is a peace for us, like at least trying to reduce that stress that we go throughout that days and
and isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing that no matter where you are in the ladder of Bhakti Yoga?
I cannot hear you.
Oh, you're not able to hear me? Did I mute myself?
Mataji, you're audible.
Yeah, I think.
Is it only us or?
It looks like you're having some.
Yeah, your connection is low. I think Mataji, it was breaking. Your voice was breaking earlier also.
I can hear okay, Mataji.
Yeah. Because I can hear some cut sound. Somewhere the noise is being picked up. Let's see, did they go away? Khyati is still here. Khyati, you might want to leave and join again. Maybe hope for a better connection like that. She can't hear my instructions also. So this is the condition of God. He's giving instructions to us and he's saying like, oh, look at this Jiva's soul. He's not able to hear what I'm saying. Because the Jiva has lost the connection.
Sorry, Mataji, you're back.
You're back. Okay, good. Right? So you can imagine how happy Krishna feels when we are back. So I'm happy that they are back.
That's a good one. That's a very good one.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, can I say something?
Yes, you can and you may.
Mataji, Adhyatmik, Adibhautik and Adidevik, clashes are always there in our lives. But when we are into devotional service, Mataji, we tend to not forget them, but it is just like forgetting them and they just pass by without causing much of a problem.
Yes. So you see how devotional service is so powerful. It is so powerful that you forget it. You forget it. I mean, I remember that I used to, when I was growing up, they used to ask us to fast. My parents used to ask me to fast. And I was just telling Kamla Mataji today that I can't fast even to save my life. but I do fast, So there would be Shivratri and there would be Janmashtami to fast. And Shivratri was the easy one because at sundown you break your fast. And then also it is in February, March. So the sun also goes down sooner than later, right? But Janmashtami is a real killer because it's in August when it is very hot in India and you feel so thirsty. And then it's till midnight. And actually midnight is when they start praying. And I was like, can't my mom start praying a little before midnight so that I can break my fast bang at midnight like that? So anyway, I would, not keep the fast. But I would still tell my mom that we're going to keep a fast because she would then ask that, if nobody's keeping the fast, then I won't make the fasting food, And then in the night when you break your fast, you have Ekadashi, and I love that food, So I would every time say that, yes, I'm keeping a fast. And by the time the day wore on, I would be dead, could not keep it like that. And then I got married. And so my husband doesn't keep fast. So I got a accomplice. Nobody's going to tell me now. But then still some pressure, peer pressure, etc. I kept a Janmashtami fast for the first year of my marriage. And then on that day, all my school classmates, they descended into my home that day. And they were not fasting. So they wanted, like me to cook something and do like that. So I said, okay, I'll make pakoras and things like that. So in the heat of August, I made pakoras for them. They had tea. We used to have tea at that time. So they had all that went away. And I was so exhausted. And I was like, I lost my temper after the left. And my husband just said that, if you can't control your temper, then why do you fast? And you know how I acted? I did not say that, I will, yeah, fine, I'll try to control my temper. I said, yeah, you're right. These fasting business is bad. Let me stop keeping any fast. Like that, so I stopped, did not keep any fast. Till 2 decades later, I came here and met my spiritual master in ISKCON. And after I came to ISKCON, the very next month, they had Gaura Purnima. And everybody was fasting. And I said, okay, I'll also fast. And then because Prabhupada was saying that a good Hindu, he fasts. I said, okay, I'll keep my fast. And then I went there to the temple at about 8 o'clock. I took the day off from the office and I went there to the temple and I had no idea what happens in the temple. It was just that some super soul telling me, you go there. So I went there to temple outside and I did not even know that Guru Maharaj was going to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he read and he was singing from the verses. And the first time I heard Chaitanya Charitamrita like that. And you won't believe, it was 6 o'clock in the evening and I did not know or realize that I was hungry. So that's the effect of Krishna consciousness, Krishna Katha on you. So yes, I of all the people who would never fast like that. And then from that point onwards, always, I went on to Krishna Janmashtami, and then slowly Ekadashi crept in, and then go for Nirjala Ekadashi and things like that. So it is, I can tell you from my life that yes, it does remove the miseries. The pangs of hunger, they were gone. I mean, look at during Janmashtami, people are there from Mangal Artik. From Mangal Artik. And so one fine day and one festival, I said, I will go to Mangal Artik. I'll go to Mangal Artik. So I went to Mangal Artik and I said, I'll go there and I will chant. I'll be the only one over there. And I put my step in the temple and the room is full.
Surprise!
Not a block, full. And I was like, yeah. So you see, we think highly of ourselves. But Krishna, shows us our place every now and then. So, and that's the effect. That's the effect of Krishna Katha, and Krishna will help you, slowly get out of this vicious cycle of birth and death. More.
No one can avoid that.
That's also true. Nobody can avoid that. And the classic example of that is Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami was an impersonalist, and he didn't want to come out because he was already a liberated soul. So he didn't want to get out of it, and so he stayed in his mother's womb for 16 years and wouldn't come back. Poor mother. But anyway, finally, when he was born, when he comes out, then he starts running away to the forest just to avoid, and then his father, Vyasdev, wants to give him Yagyapaveet ceremony and things like that. He didn't even wait for any of the purificatory ceremonies. He just ran away to the forest. And of course, Vyasdeva is running behind him, trying to say, come back, come back, come back, oh son, come back. So Bhagavatam in the second chapter of Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, it says, Putre titan mayataya tarvo bhinedis. His cries of, oh my son, where are you going away? Only the trees heard that, right? But his son has gone into the deep forest. They're trying to avoid the dad also. Like, I don't want to have any relationship. I don't want to have anything to do. Because he's read this chapter, right? Which says that sometimes your relatives will give you klesha, right? So he doesn't want to get entangled in material life at all. He's already liberated, so he goes away. And then Vyasdeva wants to bring him back. And then what does he do? Then he catches hold of a woodcutter. And that woodcutter, he gives him a verse from Bhagavatam to recite. And then woodcutter recites that verse. Aho bakiyam sanakala kutam, that verse. Right? That how merciful Krishna is, that to Putana, who had come to kill him, he gives him the position of a nurse. So he hears that. So Sukadeva Goswami hears that and he gets attracted to Krishna Katha. So much so that he comes back to his father, hears the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, learns the entire Srimad Bhagavatam from his dad, and then recites it again, to Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah. Yeah, so it attracts it. Krishna Katha attracts.
Mataji, I wanted to know from you, what was the reason why you were inspired to go to the temple at Mangalarti time every Ekadashi or every festival time?
Well, just reading from Prabhupada books like that, right? The Prabhupada says that, you should do that, you should do that. At a minimum, you should do that, like that. Right? The scripture, Prabhupada guiding.
So what does the books say, Mataji, about that going to the temple at Mangalarti time?
What do the books say? What does Prabhupada say? It's a good thing. It's a good thing for a devotee to go, for Mangalarti. If you can, to go. Like I could not go because at that time, temple was 35 miles from here. And I can't go there for Mangalarti every day because I was working like that. So on a festival day, I said, okay, I'll go. Prabhupada says, go there, at least I'll go here. I'll go once like that.
What is the significance, Mataji? Is it any specific significance which you can share, Mataji?
For Mangalarti?
Yes.
Why we should go for Mangalarti? It's a good time of the day. Because as the day progresses, and it's a time when you are in the mode of goodness. And it's also a time when Krishna wakes up. Right? Mangalarti means we have waken up. So it's really showing that we really care for Krishna. Because even before he is awake, I'm there to greet him, for him to begin his day in my temple like that. And then again, it's in the mode of goodness. That time is in the mode of goodness. So if you do devotional service at that time, it will have more impact. Then as you go further into the day when mode of passion comes in, and then the evening when the mode of ignorance comes in, like that. Like today, Chitra Mataji was saying that I try to remember Krishna all the time, but I get so engrossed in other things. So it's not just all Chitra Mataji's fault, it's also the ambience, right? During the day we are working, it's a mode of passion. So you will forget about Krishna, it's a known fact.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mm-hmm. And then, if you go to temple has got nice vibrations there. But if you can't go, then Prabhupada also says that, you can make your home as your temple, right? You have your own altar. You just need to get up and then do Mangalarti in your home. A lot of people do Mangalarti at their home because they have got small kids. They can't go, they can't drive, whatever the reason they do.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, like you see, once I think you mentioned that morning is in the mode of goodness, then afternoon the passion, and night is the ignorance. Mataji, that we always remain in mode of goodness. Like you say, the afternoon has started, 12 o'clock comes so soon after that. So what should we do that time also has goodness? We spend the time in goodness. Is there something we can do about it?
Absolutely. You have to remember that the modes that you're talking about, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are still modes of material nature. They are material, right? And beyond the material is the transcendental. And so when we engage, and that is what our aim is. Sattvam yad brahma darshanam. right? So Parthivad Daruno, Bhagavatam says, Parthivad Daruno Dhumas, Tasmat Agni Traimaya, Tamastastu Rajas Tasmat, Sattvam Yad Brahma Darshanam. So it's showing you the hierarchy, and it's saying that, just as dry wood is better than earth, all the wood comes from earth. So dry wood is better than earth, and better than wood is fire, because from fire you can use to do sacrifice. Similarly, he says that better than tamas is rajas, and better than rajas is goodness. But why is goodness better? Because he says you have to raise yourself to the mode of goodness, because from there sattvam yad brahma darshanam. You have to go to the mode of goodness, and then you will be able to see the Lord. So when we are engaging in devotional service, the activities that we are doing are all transcendental. Right? So even if you are plunged into a mode of passion during the day, and the ambience is all in the mode of passion, everything around you, the temperature, the electromagnetic waves, they're all agitating the passion side. Then if you sit down and you chant, and that's why Varjana Mataji, that those who get a second initiation, they are given Gayatri mantras to chant. And when do they chant the Gayatri mantras? Whenever there is a transition in the timings, right? So like during 12 noon, they tell you to chant the Gayatri mantras, because we are transitioning from the mode of goodness and going into passion, like that, right? So you sit down and chant the Gayatri mantras, and what do the Gayatri mantras do? The Gayatri mantras remove their material propensities. So by chanting those mantras, you are rising yourself to a higher level, reducing your material desires. And if you don't have material desires, then material nature will have less effect on you, like that. So that's why, again, in the evening you will do that, because now we are entering into the mode of ignorance, like that. So you will do that.
Mataji,
Mam Anusmara Yudhasa. That's why Krishna said it very simply. Yeah, these modes of material nature will be there always. Don't bother, it's 12 o'clock, don't bother, it's 6, what I should do. Tasmat Sarvishu Kaleshu. Think of Krishna in your back channel all the time, like that, right? Isn't it like we have our back channel running very, very hard, and it works over time, isn't it? Like you're cooking and you're chopping, okay, I need to put the salt, I need to put this, but in the back channel, she said this, he said that. Good. So in the back channel, you can have Bhagavad Gita shlokas running, you can have Hare Krishna mantra running in the back channel. It's a practice.
Mataji, I have a question on that reference about the Gayatri mantra. You said that it removes material. What was the word? I'm sorry, I missed it. Desires, material desires. So is this mantra one cannot chant without having given by a guru or a special master?
Yeah, very, very interesting thing in these days when everything is available on the internet. If you go to the internet, I'm pretty sure, and if you search hard enough, you'll find the Gayatri mantras to chant. But the thing is that these mantras have to enter into your ears through the mouth of your spiritual master for them to have the potency, like that. And Vaisheshika Prabhu gives a very nice example of that. And he says that if you take a banyan tree, right? And of a banyan tree, the seed of the banyan tree will fall into the ground, right? So if you take the seed of a banyan tree and you just plant it in the ground, it will never germinate into a tree or a plant. It will never germinate, right? But what happens is, but we do have banyan trees. So how does a banyan tree grow then? How do we get new? So what happens is that in that ecosystem, there are some birds. So when this seed falls on the ground, then these birds eat that seed. When they eat that seed, it goes through the digestive tract. And in the digestive tract, there are digestive juices, which are nothing but acids. So those acids act on the hard shell of the seed. And then they are ejected from the digestive system of the bird. And then now what falls on the ground is a seed, but the hard covering is removed. And then when this seed goes into the ground as a natural process, the plant inside is able to push and come out and germinate from there. So similarly, these mantras have to be passed through the mouth of your spiritual master for them to germinate in your heart. So
I know this mantra because my father-in-law, they were doing it. They were by birth Brahmins. So they were doing it all the time in the morning. So, but I'm understanding the significance and how this works today. Yes,
so,
you're right.
Yeah, and the interesting thing to also understand is that But don't we say that Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nameva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. So what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to chant Gayatri? Am I supposed to chant this? Am I supposed to get second initiation? I'm not supposed to get second initiation. What am I supposed to do? Like that, right? So, so the thing is that first initiation definitely is a requirement. It's a requirement because then your spiritual master is going to tell you the mantras, the Hare Krishna mantra asks you to chant in a formal manner, like that you do. Now, as we are chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, like this, right? So we are in a circle, and assume that this Golok Vrindavan is here somewhere on the top, and we are here at the bottom. And as we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we will be, progressing and going up, 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 up like that. And of course, you reach Krishna when all your material desires are gone, right? So the crux of the matter is that for you to achieve Krishna, your material desires have to go away. Okay, so that is where the Gayatri mantras actually fit in, right? So how does the Gayatri mantra fit in? Like in your concentric circle, just imagine it's a smaller circle. It's not as big as that. Like, if this is your big circle, Gayatri mantra is here. So what the Gayatri mantra will do is they help to reduce your material desires. So you were here somewhere in the bottom, you were chanting, and then in comes the Gayatri mantras. So what happens when you're chanting the Gayatri mantras? Your material desires are removed. And then after that, you can chant what is known as you can purely chant the names of the Lord, right? So if you don't get the Gayatri mantras at all, then you are back to your circle. It'll take you a longer time to reach Golok Vrindavan. This is just an accelerator. It just accelerates the things for you like that. So nowadays, like in ISKCON, they are very strict in the saying that you get second initiation only if you've got duty on the altar and things like that. But first initiation is good because you need a spiritual master to get you started like that. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
That is great. Yeah.
Hare Nama Kevalam, that's the one that you should, that we chant.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Mataji.
You're welcome. Okay, it's 2 minutes to 8 o'clock. What do you say? Should we call it a day? And we have Naimishanina Prabhu from Texas is on the call, and Preeti Radhika joined us again. Okay, good. She's watching us on Facebook. Any last things? Oh, Sonal Mataji, so happy to have you here. Yeah. Oh, by the way, now here's one thing. Now, how many of you, Varshana Mataji might be the only one that I should ask this question on this call. Yeah. So Varshana, can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So, so this one, our Sonal Mataji, she had the good fortune of joining our Bhagavatam classes on Fridays because of this coronavirus. She didn't have to go wherever she used to be at that time, and then to accommodate, and the classes used to be at 3:30, right, in the beginning, and then to accommodate people from India, we moved the class to 4 o'clock. And so having a class late in the day on Friday is a difficult thing for me to do because I go for Harinam on some Fridays, right? Of course, Harinam is stopped now. So Sonal Mataji was asking that, can we move the class to 5 o'clock instead of 4 o'clock? And I wanted to check with you. 5 o'clock would mean 5:30 in the morning for you, Varshana, instead of 4:30 in the morning.
Very nice, Mataji.
Our time, Mataji?
Yeah, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, our time.
Oh, which day? Friday? Instead of 6?
No, instead of 4.
Instead of 4 on Friday. Yeah, okay. Yeah, later is fine.
Yeah. And I just want to let you know that this might be a temporary arrangement because as soon as things open up, I'll have to go back to my mean timing, bad timings like that. Right. And I'll also check with others who join the call because not all those who attend the Bhagavatam are here in this call. So I'll check with them. But I think at least, Sonal Mataji, you got 2 votes in your favor.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Shraddha.
Yeah. So she wanted to be in Bhagavatam class, and I said, well, you know what, Corona is there. I'm not going for the Harinam. And that was the only reason that I was not having the classes later on Friday. Plus, of course, there were some ladies who wanted that particular time slot, like 3:30, because their family comes back, at 6, and then they have to attend to them. So it worked out much better for them to have it at that time.
It's just like Varshana Mataji said in the beginning that it's not the same logging in versus hearing the recording later.
That is so true. That is true. Yeah. When you hear a recording versus live in the class is a big difference. I feel it. Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of don't go to that, to be honest with you. I just be there live and then that's it, you know. I mean,
but if you can't be live, then it is good to go through the recording.
Right.
Because if you don't go to the recording, you'll go somewhere else.
That's true.
That's true.
But then you are doing something else. Yes.
Yeah, you have to protect yourself with these transcendental vibrations. We have to protect ourselves. Otherwise, the mind is just so crazy. I cannot tell you that.
Mataji, can you help me with this? Some radios are there where you have 24 hours Hare Krishna mantra going on. I've seen it.
Ask Suyash Prabhu. Ask Suyash Prabhu. He will be able to tell you. There are 24 hours Sankirtan from ISKCON also. I don't have the link to that.
Yes, but there is radio, just a little radio that I've seen it some Prabhuji's house when they had.
Yeah, that is what Damodar Prabhu and all had like distributed, you know.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Where can I find it?
Oh goodness, somebody gifted
I want it.
Yeah. Good. Have the desire. Some devotees will fulfill your desire. You get it in India. I think the cheapest you can get it is in India.
Oh,
yeah.
And it works in 120 here.
Yes, it works. It just goes into it goes into your socket and then it plays. That's it. You plug it in and you forget, and then Prabhupada will be chanting all the time. He's chanting.
But they're not sold here locally. We don't have it in our store.
No.
Oh, okay.
Not temple store. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that you can employ technology. You can use a player like VLC player on your computer, and they can loop your song, right? You can pick up 6 different tunes of Maha Mantra and say loop it. They'll continuously play it for you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So even if you
because
don't
what they were doing is plugging wherever they were sitting. I forgot Prabhuji's name.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even if it's not. The mantra will have its effect even if you're in a different room. Yeah, it's good to be close to it, but even if it's in a different room, it doesn't matter. The mantra actually comes from the spiritual world, so it travels many million miles.
So you are saying go on the computer, put it on the computer or iPhone, because then it will be.
Yeah.
iPhone will die soon. I mean, the battery dies anyways so quickly on iPhone. So maybe the old computer or something that you can put in center of the house.
Or take an old iPhone, and the iPhone can be put on charger like that, right? My iPhone is always on the charger all the time. Only time I take it out is for these classes, like for an hour and all, and then again it will go into the charger like that.
Same here, Mataji. iPhone is always dead otherwise. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'll try and see if it's online on a Krishna site somewhere, if that radio is there.
Yeah.
Maybe that one or computer, of course. Yeah. That was really kind of felt good. I liked it.
Yeah.
It changed the mood.
Yes, it changed the vibrations in the home.
Vibrations, yeah. Thank you.
I think we can ask Suyash Prabhu to share the link in the group for the 24-hour kirtan. I will message him.
Yes, and there's internet radio also. Nice. Yeah, there's internet radio also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will message him.
Thank you, Krati Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Alrighty, what do you say?
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol. Thank you, Shraddha Mataji.
You can unmute yourself and give me a Hare Bol. And if you're watching us here,
thank you, Shraddha Mataji. It was
thank
wonderful.
you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank you all for your fantastic realizations.
See you tomorrow morning.
At 6:30 for a short Bhagavad Gita class. And so you had some questions and reflections more. So we're continuing with 2:15, right?
Yes. Yes, Mataji.
You can talk about that. Yeah, and if you are exhausted, we'll go to the next verse. No problem with that. Okay?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
again. Hare Krishna. So I'm going to stop the sharing of the screen and we will get going here. I didn't realize that I was sharing the screen all the time. Yeah. Just remind me if I'm sharing the screen for a very long time, I need to see you and you also need to see each other. So if I'm sharing the screen, then you just get the text there. It's not good for all of you.
Thank you.
All right. Hare Krishna.